Hello and welcome back, everybody. We continue progress on our Darby, and in our last video, I had talked about switching from working on the weapons back to the figure, and because my motivation is still strong, and this is I'm really feeling this figure and the progress that I'm making. So next, I'm going to jump into the pauldrons and the helmet of this figure, and possibly this lower armor, but I doubt it. And you can see that I've got this paint in my hand, and this paint is actually one that I ordered off of Amazon. It was I'd never actually seen this color of metallic in a store anywhere, and let me just pull off the lid real quick and kind of show that it does have a really fine metallic flake to it, and I think this was like less than $2, but we've got this shooken up really well, and we're gonna go into our dish, 2 and 3. All right, and because I will be dry brushing, I am okay going direct with the paint without diluting any. And full transparency here, I've actually painted with this paint one other time. It was on a Mythic Legion figure, part of Xylona's flock, and this metallic actually matches exceptionally well for such a budget friendly, inexpensive paint. It did the job superbly. And I, because of that experience with it, I am going to use it again here as I'm kind of ad libbing and updating this figure. So I will say, you can see right there close to the ferrule as I'm dry brushing. The paint, the pigment in it does not respond as does my Citadel or my Vallejo paints or my Army Painter paints. And I'm saying this with just complete transparency. Um, it's not as expensive for the amount of paint that I'm getting. That was a 2 fluid ounces container, as compared to a Vallejo here that's 0.57. So complete fraction of the cost. But this is a quality paint, folks. So I'll just kind of put that out there so you can see it. But I'm going to get in here and I'm going to dry brush, and I'm going light metallic over top of this really nice flat paint that came from the factory. And when I picked this figure up, one of the things I noticed was the great sculpt to begin with, but that the paint that came from the factory was not bad at all, which um, lends itself really well to doing things like this, where we do a oh, I said it. I think I said it in a previous video. A defresh, because a refresh, we're making it look maybe newer, but this we're giving it some age and wear. But the paint on this figure is not terrible by any means, and I really hope that's picking up on camera. But that is that is superb. It's literally picking up, the light is picking up those high points and those metallic sheen, and that's exactly what I wanted it to do. Um, and I think I'm going to refrain from using any bit on the body here. I may hit the chest. No, I'm sorry, the helmet. No, I want to leave that chest really plain because I really want that to look like it's seen some damage. And I'm going to be using, I'm definitely going to give some distress and wear and tear to these pauldrons, but by hitting it with this metallic dry brush, I want to make it look as though, these were, that it's differentiated. Maybe that it's, heavier duty. giving it that metallic quality. That it was and maybe to some degree, even kind of like, oh, these pauldrons, because he's, seeing action that and I don't know if you can see that, but I accidentally just get a little blurb right there on the arm. I just pull it off right with my finger. It's that easy. I did want to make a note to say that and share that with you guys, um, because accidents happen, and sometimes they're not a happy accident, and you want to get that paint off there. So getting it off sooner than later is the way to go about this. So with dry brushing, you're not worried about a wet edge. So, because if you've been watching other videos, especially with the sword and shield, where I talk about keeping that wet edge, you're like, well, Jeremy, you just went back and hit that pauldron that you were at before. I'm like, yeah, I did. With dry brushing, there's some exceptions there, and I am really, really super happy with how that's come out. So I am, in fact, going to get into this and hit this helmet. And I'm going to give the reason why here in a second. And some of you may already have come to the conclusion, and knowing why I'm doing the helmet. Same reason as I focused on the dark here, focusing on the light here, bringing my focus in an exciting way. And on the top, I can get a little heavier with the dry brush. Real heavy there. Nice. Because that's not going to be a point that comes into as much contact. And this color is called Festive Green. Festive Green, sorry. Festive Green. And it is working really, really well. Just going to hit the back of this helmet. Again, I can go a little heavy because it's the back. I'm not expecting as much wear. Oops, I had a little, touch there. I just take my finger, get right in there. And if I gotta, get, there we go. Boom. Use my fingernail, get it off. There we go. Boom. Okay. I am really, really liking that. So much so that I'm actually going to hit these little details here. I'm not going to hit this down here on the lower leg. I've just kind of thinking about light and the way it hits. I'm just going to real lightly hit these without getting too heavy, where there were some factory details with insignia and kind of maybe regiment number there. So I'm just going to kind of dab while I have barely any paint on this brush whatsoever, but I'm just going to hit in there. And yeah, as I rotate this, I'll try to go slow so you can see it's been touched. I'm not going to hit the chest, and I'm not going to hit this lower leg, so I'm going to do something different with those. Arm here, I'm not going to hit that either because I've already hit this up here higher. I'm going to leave this go. I'm going to leave this go. I'm just going to create some dynamic excitement with the kind of sheen and, just the way that this metal is going to look. So thanks again, and looking forward to you joining me in the next.